real deals in real estate. Welcome to the Real Deal Podcast with Todd Hearn.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today on the Real Deal Podcast with Todd Hearn. Today, I've got Marc Lewis with me. We're going to be talking about some insurance. We're going to be talking about a little bit of football. We're going to be talking about some background and some different things. You know how I like to do. I like to get into people's personal life and let you know some things about them. And so without any further ado, Marc, how are you today?
Hey, man, I am doing awesome today. We've been one of them crazy busy days. So, the insurance world is always fun and exciting. And, I never thought that in my life that it would be fun. But there's something new going on every day, and you never know who's going to walk through the front door, So with a new challenge or a new problem to solve, So it keeps it very exciting and keeps it real every day,
Well, keeping it real, that's what I like to do, and that's kind of the theme of this podcast. So, as far as insurance goes, what all products and stuff do you offer? Is it just life? Is it just cars? Yeah. Is it health? What are we talking about?
Perfect. I do everything. So pretty much, if I can't write you, I've got somebody that can because you're super specialized. But we do everything from personal lines, which is home, auto, umbrella, motorcycle, RV, travel trailers, all those kind of things, side-by-sides, to rental properties, apartment complexes, business insurance, just about anything. Pretty much if it's on Main Street there in Lebanon or Watertown or Smyrna, I can pretty much write it through that. We have some outside companies. We write some small hemp farms and do some weird off-the-wall stuff, traveling bartenders and different things. But, we pretty much do everything on that end on the property and casualty side. I have a full line of life insurance products and health insurance products, and I do financial services. I help people set up IRAs and roll 401ks over and help them protect their money. It's kind of what I try to do because in today's world, you gotta protect part of your nest egg, or you may not have one later on. So, your 401k may be a 200 and a half, B.
Yeah.
So, you got to make sure we do some of those things. So we try to do a pretty holistic look at what people are doing from insurance and financial services and life insurance and make sure they're properly covered because the day we're putting somebody in the ground is not the day to figure out if they got the right coverages or not,
Yeah.
Bad
right.
day on those ones. So, so we've been doing it. In my lifetime, I've been an agent twice with farmers, and I spent 12 years training and recruiting agents for farmers here in Middle Tennessee. So I've been kind of all over the board with them, and so it's been a good career for me so far, and I still got hopefully about another 20 or 30 years to go, because it's fun. My son's in the process of getting licensed and coming on board with me, so it's truly become a family business. And then my daughter, when she gets out of school, she's going to come join us also. So we're going to hopefully have a great team here built out of family members and the other team members I have here at my agency, which my office manager's been with me going on 15 years, and a couple other of my staff people have been with me for 3 and 4 years. So since we started back as an agency 4 years ago.
Well, that sounds awesome. So I like to go back. So let's. I know you're from Gordonsville.
Yeah.
You and Mr. Webster, and so let's go back. Let's go back to your childhood, to your teenage years. Yeah. So tell me about growing up in Gordonsville and playing for the Blue Tigers.
That's right, man. It's that's some of my fondest memories in life was growing up in Gordonsville. We actually moved to Gordonsville when I was in the first grade. Long story, but I was born in Germany. My dad was in the military. Mom and dad got divorced. Me and mom moved back to Tennessee, and I actually lived in the housing projects over in South Carthage for a while. And my mom got remarried, and we moved to Gordonsville when I was about halfway through my first grade year. And I grew up there around a lot of the guys I played football with. We were together from the time we were in first grade all the way through the time we graduated high school. And we had a good group of men there, and they've been all very successful in what they do. That's probably one of the greatest things about growing up there. We were lucky to have some folks that were. Hope you can still hear me. Phone was trying to ring.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, and I had some great football coaches with Turney Ford, who's a legend here in the Middle Tennessee area for high school football, and then Coach Mark Medley, and he's been several places, and Steve Arms, some just great men I got to play football under, because sometimes when you have like my dad left, having men in my life that were good Christian men and good football coaches and just good people in general, they really changed my life a whole lot, put me in a different direction. No telling what I'd done if I hadn't had those kind of men in my life during that time. But running around and growing up with me and Gavin Webster growing up and having a big time together, and Brad Cowan, which he was a all-state running back, and he was the second leading rusher that year, our senior year in football. And, I was privileged. I played on in 6 years, between 2 years of junior high and 4 years of high school. We played on 3 undefeated seasons and had a state championship and a state runners up. And so, we probably, I want to say we lost 6 games in 4 years of high school football, and so, we had a bunch of good young men that wanted to play football and this stuff. And teamwork is something that's hard to come by these days, is finding people that can work together at a high level for long periods of time. And we were able to do that. And I go back to the one thing I think that it probably consisted of, what made our team really good, was that we loved each other. We probably didn't understand that at the time, but there was a brotherhood that was built into that group of men. And a lot of it was because the coaches loved us, and in turn we loved each other, and I think that's kind of a missing thing today, some sports teams and stuff like that, because people talk a lot about talent and what talent can do, but in football, there's 11 guys out there, and there's 11 battles going on every play. And if you don't care about the guy next to you, how can you be successful in life if you're not able to help the people out next to you? So I think that's one of the great things that made our football teams good, was we cared about each other. And we still get together once a year now and reminisce and tell about how our families are and just talk. And as a team, and it's funny how that brotherhood piece of it, we just pick up wherever last time we talked, we just pick up from there and just keep on running with it. So I think it's truly something that football is a game that can change a young man's life for the good,
Yeah, absolutely. I was the same way. I grew up playing. I played in junior high and didn't play again until my junior year in high school. We had a lot of turnover in coaching and different things like that had a lot to do with that. But man, that you still remember those guys, you still see those guys, and you still talk, and like you said, it's a brotherhood that, and you learn things to, like you said, how to. I mean, you're only a team is only as good as its weakest link. So everybody has to bond together, and you're not if you're offensive line, you're not blocking that guy for you. You're blocking the guy so the running back can do his job. And there's the running back's got to make the right cut. And because if you're blocking the guy outside and he runs outside, well, that you got to, everybody's got to be on the same page. And I think that to me, that part of a team and being together translates into business more than anything, of everybody being on the same page, of everybody, pulling the rope in the same direction and doing all that, doing those kind of things. And I know it's that way in real estate, and I'm assuming it's that way in insurance as well. But all right, so you got
you're exactly right. Yeah.
So you got two. Did you say 2 state championships or 1?
We got one. We got 1 state championship and 1 state runners up, man, our junior and senior year. So our senior year we went 14-0, and we pitched 8 shutouts that season. We put 8 goose eggs on the board for the opponents. So we outscored our opponents. Something like it's 500 or 600 points to like 50 points that year,
And makes it a whole
we
lot.
had a defense that was,
Makes it easy to win whenever they don't score, right?
Yeah, that's right. You got an offense that averages, 30 some odd points a game, and your defense gives up averaging less than probably, I don't know, 6-7 points a game. You're going to win a lot of games that way, And if they don't score, they don't win.
You just fell off the moon.
I know it, man. My phone.
That was pretty good. I like that.
That's all right, man. Hey, trying to get this thing where it'll set up. I've been setting up
good.
fine, and all of a sudden it decides to do something different. I love this world sometimes,
Well, you're sitting on top.
Glad I'm on this planet versus another one.
Yeah, you're sitting on top of it right now. So
that's right, man. Hey,
how's the view from up there?
It's good. There's a lot of things that when you think back on your life and everything, what makes your life good. When I finished my career in Gordonsville, I was blessed. I had an opportunity to go play college ball up at Tennessee Tech under Jim Ragland, and I played up there 4 years and got an engineering degree and went out and worked for a national company for 12 years, working for Purina Mills, the checkerboard folks, and then we parted ways, and I went to work for a company making dehydrated egg for cow can, and then that company had some financial issues, and I left and went to work for Koch Industries out of Wichita, Kansas. And after about 8 months of working for them, I realized I got tired of working for somebody else and started a business remodeling houses. So I remodeled houses for a couple of years before I got in the insurance business. And so I've been an entrepreneurial minded my whole life, but really about the last 20 years, I've owned my own business, and whether it's remodeling houses or selling insurance or recruiting agents for farmers, I've done my own gig, and it's been a good deal, just like most real estate folks, man, they have to get out and tote their own mail, and do their own thing and work hard. And, a lot of people just see the results of what we do versus the long hours of going out with clients on Saturdays and Sundays and looking at properties or on the phone with people at 8 or 9 o'clock trying to get a deal pushed through or whatever it may be. They just don't see what we go through to be successful in there. And I think that's one of the things that makes our kinds of businesses really special is just that fact that we get to help people and serve people, and we get paid well to do it, And I think that's a good thing, because if me and you do our job rights in this world, people make a lot more money off us than they ever pay us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because if I write the wrong kind of insurance policy for somebody or something, they get out and have a loss, they pay a bunch of money out of pocket. If I write the right one, they may pay me a little more on the front end, but when they have a loss, they're going to say, wow. And I'll give you an example. We had a small fire here at the office where our next door neighbor, one of their clients got out of their car and flipped a cigarette butt and landed in my mulch, and it caught it on fire. And sorry about that. I'm having some technical issues here today. And it caught the mulch on fire, and it caught the side of the building on fire, and it went up the side of the building, got in the attic, and did $317,000 worth of damage. And that's one of the things that it put me out I worked in a trailer in the backyard here at the office for a year. And then, of course, we got the building put back, and this thing called COVID hit. So, the last 2 years we've been trying to get over that. And finally, it seems like this year it's really taken off because we've gotten kind of over fires and pestilence and everything. This, the good stuff the Bible talks about all the time in the end days. Fire and pestilence. We've had it all here.
It's all coming to fruition, huh?
That's right, man. So hey, we're out here selling. We just come off probably the second best premium month we've had, or maybe the first best premium. I had a chance to go back and research since we started back 4 years ago, and we're having the best year we've ever had this year. So and if we quit right now, we're up about 50% of where we were at last year, for the whole year, and we still got basically 4 months left to produce. So it's we're in a good position to do a lot of things. And it's good because we're able to find great clients. We got great referral people that help us out. We do a lot of business with people that are mortgage brokers and real estate agents, stuff like that. and just get a ton of referrals in for people. And of course, that helps out a whole lot when we do that, because when we do a good job for people, that's the best compliment you can give anybody is refer the people over. And you know that well as I do, that your business referrals are like gold, man. So
yeah, referrals are the lifeblood of your business. To me,
that's right.
I mean, you can get leads and other things off the internet and other sources, but the lifeblood of your business is being able to get those referrals from people that you've done a good job for. And that's one thing that I love about my broker is he doesn't want us to use buyer's agreements or anything like that, because his philosophy is if you're doing your job, they're not going to want to go buy from somebody else. If they go buy from somebody else, it's because you didn't do your job. So
I agree with you.
And so that's one thing that's one philosophy that I like. And so you're right as far as your sphere of influence and just people that you know and people that you deal with and that you've helped in the past. They appreciate your help, and they want other people to be that you can help as well. And
that's what we have to do well in life. I think I had a guy tell me one day that he didn't. I was been in business for a long time. He said, yeah, I'm in the insurance business, but I really don't sell. I'm more of a connector. I help connect people together to get what they want. And in the meantime, they want me to do their stuff for them. And that's kind of how I do. I spend my life trying to make sure if you got a need, I know somebody that can fix that need for you, and I get you hooked up. And then you say, well, why ain't I doing business with you? You've got more resources and help me out do this and do that and everything. So I think if we got anybody listening on the podcast today that's trying to get in the real estate business, insurance business, or service work, I think your best thing is become the best referral person you can to give other people referrals, because they're going to when people go see them and they see what you're doing and they know you're not making no money because you're referring somebody. They're like, wow, this guy wants to help people out. Maybe I'm going to do business with him next time, or maybe I'm going to do business with him this time. So, or her. And I think just having those kind of referral partners in business is what makes the world go round, where if you're somebody pours concrete or real estate, insurance, whatever it may be, it just, having good referral sources. I was at the bank today and they were asking me what we need to do about certain things, So it's nice having those people that ask you for your experience and you're able to help refer them out to people,
Yep, and having a network too, because I don't know about you, but I'm sure you're the same way, but I have customers call me and it don't have anything to do with real estate. Somebody that I've closed, that I've helped buy a house or something like that. And they call me and ask, hey, do you know somebody that does siding work? Or do you know somebody that does this or that? And you're that point of contact. And it's good to have other people so that you can refer them to. So you have somebody that you trust, because you don't want to refer. I don't like to refer somebody that, I'm not sure if they'll, because ultimately if I refer them to somebody and then that person doesn't do a good job for them, it comes back to me,
Oh, yeah.
and they're going to blame me. And so it's awesome to have a good network of people to be able to refer people to for different, because everybody needs stuff in life. I mean, I'll call people and ask, hey, if it's something that I don't know anything about, I'm going to call somebody I think that does, and I've got a network of people where, they may not, and they may not know, but they say, hey, I'll call you back. I got this other guy that does, so. Oh yeah.
That's me too. I'm with you on that one, man. We've got like roofs and stuff like that. I get a lot of people call me, hey, you got a good roofer. And I'm going to tell you one thing, that's worth his weight in gold, having a good roofer. Because if a roof's leaking, it's bad for a homeowner, and I've got 4 or 5 that I use, and don't matter if the world's coming to an end or what, I've got somebody I can send out to somebody's house. And it's always nice because sometimes you don't have a claim, something that's claimable, and it's good to have people that you can send out and then make sure it's claimed, because in today's world, here's the bad thing that's going on in the world right now. I don't care who you're with, which company you're with. All companies are dropping down to 2 losses in a 3-year period, and they're going to non-renew you. And that's going to throw you into where you become a high risk, and you have to go to one of these companies and they'll charge you about 3 times for it for 3 to 5 years to get out of that high risk thing. So that's, you want to, when somebody says, I think I got a claim, I said, let me send one of my guys out and make sure you do or you don't. And then we can figure out what we're going to do from that point on,
Right. Yeah. That's one thing that always scares me. Like, have insurance on everything. We've got insurance on cars, houses, health insurance. I mean, life insurance. You have all of these insurances, but it's like I'm almost scared to use them. Because because I don't want to get kicked out. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm paying a lot of money for it every year. So what's the best way to mitigate that? How do you
Well, best thing to do, way I look at it is you want to think about your insurance as catastrophic coverage, like your health insurance. Like if you have a car wreck and you have to go spend $500,000 at Vanderbilt, you want that insurance to be there. You don't care if you have to pay $40. I don't care if I have to go pay $40 to go see the doctor, or $50 or $100. But if something major happens to me, like I had a little heart scare a couple of years ago, and the testing alone was $35,000 to tell me there was nothing wrong with me. Okay, so but health insurance is a little different animal. But like I've had people call in and say, hey, our company has different coverage. Like if you break a windshield out, it's $100 deductible. Don't count against you, right? If you need towing, we do $150 sign and go. Don't count against you. Some companies, they count different claims against you and stuff like that. Usually collision and what we call bodily injury and property damage claims are what counts against you. So if you've hit somebody else or something like that, if a tree falls on your car, man, that's comprehensive. Don't count against you. You hit a deer, don't count against you. Like one of the craziest things I had is one of my clients called me the squirrels or rodents that chewed their fuel line on their car, because they make all the plastic and stuff on the cars today are made out of a soy oil product instead of petroleum plastics, So the rodents love that stuff because it tastes good while they're gnawing on it, And so I think that's one of the things that just having a good insurance agent, you pick up the phone and say, hey, should I claim this or not? I tell people, I said, if it's a comprehensive or something like that, I'd say, yeah, let's go ahead and file it. But once again, you got to know what your deductible is and different things like that. But, your roof blows off your house. That's a prime example of one you want to file a claim on. But you get a window broke out of the side of your house and it's whatever you want to make sure that you just go ahead and pay for your window being broken out and move on, because it probably won't even cover your deductible anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of weird things, you said a squirrel. So besides the squirrel, give me three things that I'm sure you hear some crazy stuff. So give me three things just for fun that are kind of crazy that you've had claims on.
All right. So probably I've got one I can't talk about on air because next time we
don't want any names or anything like that. Just scenarios.
I'm not giving you names. It's just it's talking about a lady that likes to take her clothes off for money and a homeowners claim. So, but we'll talk about that at another different time. But that's probably the best one. I'm notorious in farmers for that story, so I'll tell you that offline one day. But probably one of the craziest things that's happened is we had a deer jump through the front plate glass of a guy's house and wrecked his house. I think he did like $100,000 for the damage because the deer got cut up.
Cow.
Deer blood everywhere, antler pokes through refrigerator doors and through artwork on the wall, tore up carpet and tore up leather couches. And
okay, I gotta stop you for just a second. So, all right. So, is this somebody that possibly hunted or anything like that? Because if that deer is not on the wall, I'm gonna be sorely disappointed.
I know the police officer personally that went into the dude's house, and the deer got cornered back in the back master bedroom. So this deer went through the whole house and tore up something in every room. So I don't know if this guy was a deer hunter or not. I don't think he was. He guy owns a barbecue restaurant, or he did, And but that's probably one of the. But he said the guy went in deer was tired and bleeding, so he was able to grab hold to his horns and actually pulled him out of the building by his horns, But like I said, it's over $100,000 the damage on something like that. That's probably one of the craziest ones that I've seen here in recent history. And I don't know if I think of three right off the top of my head. Two more.
That was pretty
probably
good.
one of the stupidest ones. That's probably one of the stupidest ones that we've ever happened. These three guys were out drunk driving one day in their car, and the passenger grabbed hold of the steering wheel and pulled the car off the road and hit a tree. Well, they deposed all three of them, and two of the three said what the other guy did. So they ended up declining the claim because it was an intentional act. So they were drunk, and it was an intentional act with a possible outcome of damage happening. So they actually declined that claim. So if you're out drunk driving with your buddies, don't let them touch the steering wheel, okay? So that's kind of how that goes. Don't be drunk driving, or don't be texting and driving either. I think texting and driving is more dangerous than being drunk and driving, I think. I think that's one of the statistics I've seen because you're so distracted for longer periods of time.
Absolutely. And that's something, that like I can't stand that. People get mad at me sometimes. I'll have clients say, well, you didn't answer me. I was driving, and I'm sorry. I can't. I know myself, and I don't like. No, number one, I can't stand. I don't like to text and drive at all because it distracts me, and I can't text what I want to. It bugs me.
It don't take but a second in cars today, man, to lose control and be off in a ditch somewhere or be up in the back end of somebody. It's one of the things that goes crazy, like that.
Oh, absolutely. It hadn't been too awful long ago. My daughter had a wreck, and the guy it's 5:30 in the morning. She's going to work at Claiborne's Bakery there in Lebanon, and if anybody that lives in Lebanon, go see her. Her name's Mackenzie Deacons. She works at Claiborne's there. They do breakfast, lunch, donuts, all of that. Most people think they just do donuts and pies, but they do breakfast and lunch too, and they have some really good breakfast and lunch. Anyway,
sounds good.
She was going to work. It's like 5:30 in the morning, and a guy turns to get on the interstate. She's coming down 70. He turns and hit. I guess he was going to work too, and he just didn't look to see if anybody was coming, and hit her dead in the side. So we got the police report and everything, and his insurance and all of that good stuff. And I talked to his insurance agent, and he's like, well, he says that he was sitting in the turning area, and Mackenzie hit him, and went, and then went to, then veered to the right or whatever. And he's also got a witness, which it's 5:30 in the morning. Ain't nobody freaking, and they're
watching that close.
Yeah, and they ain't sure where he said the witness was from was they were turning on the eastbound side of 40, which is about 300 yards down on the other side of the bridge. Why are you looking down there to see what's going on to your left that you can't even see because there's columns right there? But anyway, despite that, luckily, whenever Mackenzie called me, she was frantic. I jumped up, threw my clothes on. As a dad, you're in that panic mode. And Jennifer's what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going. I'm going to her wherever she's at. And I get there, and I'm talking to her, and I happen to take some pictures of her car, just so we got them and stuff. Well, it just so happened that whenever I took that picture, it showed exactly where his car was sitting. Well, his car is sitting in the middle, of the oncoming traffic right there. So I sent that to the insurance agent. I said, I don't know how he was sitting in that turning lane and end up in that, in the middle of the oncoming traffic there. So but just taking that picture, that's something that I would encourage people to do. If you ever have an accident or something like that, take pictures, man. Take pictures of everything that's there, because here's the thing. Okay, you get a police report, but there in that police report, there's no pictures.
That's right.
There's no. It's your word against somebody else's word, and so
that's right.
Take pictures. Take pictures.
You nailed it right
Take
there.
Pictures.
Taking pictures and all that for folks is very important. And getting a police report every time, no matter even if you got a minor accident stuff, you want to get police reports and stuff like that, just so you've got it in there. Because unfortunately, in the insurance world, we got to prove in a court of law that you didn't do it, and that's what sometimes it comes down to. So the more evidence, the more stuff you've collected, it goes into that. So, the police report usually describes the accident. And if you got pictures and, if you can see the front end of his car is damaged and the side of her car is damaged, there's no way she hit him. He had to hit her, because especially if there was driver's side door, passenger door, front behind the wheel in the front quarter panel, those kind of things are always indicators of who hit who. Because, rarely if somebody turning across traffic or something like that, that's usually the people that aren't paying attention. You may not be paying any attention going down the road, but if you're going in a straight line and somebody hits you in the side, it's their fault usually, or unless you hit somebody in the rear end, which that's all. Or you back into somebody or hit somebody in the rear end, it's usually your fault. But any other than that, it could be their fault, so.
Yeah, up into that point, I honestly, I felt bad for the guy, because he was going to work. He was a construction worker. He was going to work, and I actually appreciated that, because a lot of people ain't going to work right now, and so I was.
That's right.
I was appreciating the fact that he was actually going to work, and but then whenever he tried to lie, that just kind of ticks you off. So, but as we move into some other things, I know, man, you just got involved in another business, and I appreciate you getting involved. And I know you have some other businesses also on the side. So what are those?
Yeah. Well, my wife and I are involved in some health products and stuff. These guys, nobody's listening today knows what it was, but about 2.5 years ago, I weighed almost 400 pounds, and I'm down to around 300 now, which is about what I played college football at. So, and I'm 56 years old, and my wife is down about 150 pounds. Excuse me, she's down to 145 or 150 pounds, and she's 5'10", so she's not a small woman from a stature standpoint, but she's lost 55 pounds or so in the using these products and stuff. And once again, it's an all-natural product and everything else. Matter of fact, I think you're taking them too, and I think that's one of the things that makes it good for us, is that we get an opportunity to help people out on their journey in life, or if it's health-wise or whatever. And the new project we're working on now has the deal that we can help save people money and help people grow wealth and do different things that they wouldn't normally be able to do, and get off this credit roller coaster we have. I think I heard this morning that credit card debt and things were at a high, like a 30 or 40 year high right now. So, people are just, I don't know and some of it's probably because some people ain't going back to work and they're using their credit cards that are too lazy to go back to work. But for some of the people having to do it just to get by. And, if you can save 1, 5, 7, 11% off what you're buying every time you buy it, it sure makes things a little better, and I think that's one of the tools that we've got out here that might be able to help people live better lives and do things better,
And for you, for those of y'all that don't know, what he's referring to is the Starfish app. I talked about it a couple of episodes ago with Josh Zettler, where we kicked it off. Mark's involved with me also, and man, it's just an incredible product. To be able to, it's so cool to be able to dial up that gift card and pay for something right there at the register, and then look on your back on your wallet and see that 6% just hit your wallet and just immediately, it came right back. And so that's it's an awesome thing.
Better than, no, you're right on the money. That is awesome the way that thing works out, and it gives you an opportunity to save a few bucks here and there, and then of course, if you want to get on the business side of it, there's a couple opportunities for that also,
Absolutely. And, and anybody that's interested in that, you can just hit me and Mark up. We'll put our email addresses and stuff down here at the bottom, and you can email us, or you can DM us on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, and we can sure help you out. And it's just an opportunity to save money and make some money. So,
yeah. And I think that at the end of the day, being able to help people live better lives and everything, no matter if it's with insurance, real estate, health insurance, or health products, or way to put money back in their pocket, just by doing the things you do every day, man, it makes life fun. It's just serving other people. It makes life good.
Absolutely, and I think it's important that we look. Sometimes I know myself. I'm not a big salesman. I'm not big into selling something that somebody doesn't need. I don't do it in real estate. I'm not going to do it in anything else. Anything that I'm telling you about is something that I believe in. And I don't sell houses. I will tell every client that I talk to, I don't sell a house. A house is going to sell itself. I'm going to walk through with you. I'm not going to say a word because I'm not there to sell that house to you. If that house doesn't sell itself to you, it's not the house for you. That's just my belief. I'll be honest with you. In the past, I've been with agents that tried to sell me a house, and to be honest with you, all it did was piss me off and turn me off. And all I had, I didn't want anything to do with that person anymore. So that's the way that I go about it, and I'm very passionate about that. And I think that may be coming across right now that I'm not a salesman. Don't want to be, have no desire to be. What I want to do is help somebody find what they want. And with this app and with it, man, if you don't want to save money and do, I mean, it's $60 for a year, and then, I mean, you're that's $5 a month. And if you can't save $5 a month, I mean, I saved $5 the first time I used it,
Yeah, that's it, man.
And that's just
cool
the customer side. So,
yeah. And, another thing too, I'm like you, I don't sell insurance. I educate people on what insurance does for them and how it works. And then if they want to buy it, it's up to them, because at the end of the day, most people don't understand what they're buying insurance wise or health product wise. People spend a lot of money on health products out there every day, nutritional supplements and different things along those lines. And they don't read and dig into what they want. Like, I'll give you an example of educating people. Like, people buy ginseng. Well, they get something, it's got X number of milligrams of ginseng in it. And I asked him, I said, well, is it the root, the stem, or the leaf? And is it Korean ginseng or is it North American ginseng? Which kind of ginseng is it? And they can't tell me. And I said, well, what do you want it to do? Well, I don't know. I just want to take some ginseng. I said, well, then, because one of them does, the Korean does one thing and the stuff from America does something totally different. So, it's like anything else, not understanding what you're spending your money on is like throwing money out the window. And I think where if it's insurance, real estate, or nutritional products or apps to save you money, if you don't understand how they work and be educated on them, they can't benefit you, and that's just part of learning and living is having somebody that can hold your hand and guide you through some of this stuff and have that educators feel, which is something that Todd and I both believe in,
Absolutely.
Or we wouldn't be friends. We're friends outside of this, by the way. So
absolutely. And that's the thing is, you got to be willing to learn. If you're not willing to learn, like our world, the world we live in right now is nowhere near the world that me and you grew up in. It's totally different, and either you're gonna figure it out and learn and try to figure it out for what it is today, or reach out and find somebody that does understand it and learn from them, or whatever you want to do. Like my dad, for instance, my dad is 78 years old. Okay. He had one of the very first phones that ever came out with Cellular One. That sucker was bigger than a laptop, and it sat in a bag, and it sat in the middle of his truck when we was out in the hayfield and everything like that. And it was like $3 and something a minute, and you didn't use that sucker unless somebody was dying. It was like 911. Yep, that's right. But now, and that was, I don't know, early 90s, something like that. I can't remember, late 80s, early 90s. And so now moved to today, and we've got all of these gadgets and all these iPhones and different phones and stuff like that. And I'm so proud of my dad because, he's 78 years old. he hadn't give up. He can still now. He does get confused on a few things on the iPhone, but man, I tell you what, I promise you that man can work an iPhone a whole lot better than any other 78-year-old man. I promise you that. Because
I'm sure, yeah.
Because but if he don't know, he'll call me, or he'll call, and most of the time I refer him to my daughters, because that's a better source, and they can tell him, they can tell him way more than I can. But he tries, and he tries to learn, and that, I think that's the key to things is, there's a lot of people that don't want to try to learn and just say, I don't understand, so I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you 100%. I think that is the greatest thing in the world is we've got all the information at our fingertips today with Google, and not that I'm a big Google fan, but if I need to know something, I can get on Google, and I can get on anything else and learn YouTube, whatever it is. And there ain't nothing out there pretty much that I can't Google and figure out how to do if I'll take a few minutes to go learn it,
Hey,
and I think
duck, go.
Yeah, yep, that's another good one, man. So but being able to do that, I do a lot of Bible study, and I can flip through the Bible, or I can go put a search word in a Bible search app, and it pulls up every verse in the Bible that talks about whatever I'm looking for, and it makes my Bible study a lot easier, and it gives me a chance to be able to dig in that deeper. And that's the same thing. Once again, there's anything you want to learn, man, you can learn it today if you want to, but I think most people are just lazy with technology, and they don't use it to learn and do the things they need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, you got all these search engines right at the tip of your fingers, and they're on your cell phone, and all you've got to do is type it in. Like there's nothing you can't find, and it always bugged me when my kids were younger. They would ask me a question, and it was kind of, to me, it was a silly question, and I'm like, is your phone messed up? They're like, no. I'm like, well, find it. It's right there. And they finally figured it out, and they started, so they quit asking me, and they just Google it or whatever. And because like they have all of this information right, it's right on the palm of your hand, where we didn't. I mean, when we were growing up, you had to go get the encyclopedia to write a 2-page book report or whatever,
That's right.
And now that, like you say encyclopedia, nobody knows what you're talking about. But that's a whole different conversation.
What's crazy too, man, is the like what I've got held in my hand right now on my phone. It's got 128 gigabyte of memory on it. When I went to Tennessee Tech as a freshman in 1985, they had a mainframe computer that sat on the first floor of Clement Hall, and this thing has like 1,000 times more memory on it than that whole computer did on the whole first floor of Clement Hall. So it's just amazing how in 30 some odd years, I guess it's going on 40 now, I'm showing my age now, that technology has grown from what wouldn't fit inside of a building today is fit inside of my palm of my hand. So, and if it's like anything else, if you take advantage of it and learn, I talk about that all the time, is that you live in an information age that you can learn and know anything you want to know and be ahead of everybody else. You're just too lazy to go look at it. And I said, if you got to hustle, work ethic, and you're willing to learn, you're ahead of about 75%, maybe 80% of the people on the planet right there, especially in America. We got a whole passel of lazy people that don't want to do anything, and if you don't believe me, you can drive by their houses and you can tell which ones take care of their yard. And we call that pride of ownership inside of our in the insurance world, and that's one of the things we look for when we go do field underwriting.
Absolutely.
But it's we're sitting in a crazy time right now. It's more information and more things out there to know and learn than's ever been at the tip of our fingers. All
right. Well, we've talked about that. I want to shift gears a little bit here, and right. I want to go. I've met your wife and your kids and stuff, and we've hung out and had some good times and stuff. So now here's what I want to know. What happened whenever y'all first met? How did you meet? How did y'all meet? Yes. Well, I mean, obviously your wife, not your. I kind of know how you met your kids, but.
Oh yeah, I was there. Both of them. Well, let me tell you. So, me and my wife were single. Of course, we weren't married to nobody else. That's a good thing, right? Both of us been married before and been divorced for a couple of years, and we were both single. I was running the plant in Nashville, and my grandparents had a farm over there on the edge of Wilson County and Rutherford County. And the first time I actually met my wife, we were actually digging potatoes. So you know how nasty I was, and just covered in dirt and everything else, and mud and sweat because it was hot. And she met me and my grandparents, and I said, hey, I'll give you a call sometime, and maybe we'll go out. So a couple of weeks later, I give her a call, and we went out on a date on Friday the 13th. Okay, so we went on that date. And then we got married September 1st, 50 some odd days later. So we're coming up on our 21st wedding anniversary, September 1st. So it's been a great time. We've got two beautiful kids out of it. One of them's 19 years old. He'll be 20 in January, and my daughter will be 15 in October the 9th. So, we've been around the block a little bit, But yeah, that was how it was, kind of like that. And we went on a date. I won't say it's a blind date because we'd met once before, but it was pretty much, we didn't know each other when we met. And then, like I said, we were married 50 days later. So
you figured that one out pretty quick then, huh?
Well, it's one of the deals. I want to get her into the fold before she changed her mind,
Yeah, I've like I said, I've met her, and you're a lot like me. You outkicked your coverage, and but
that's right. I got a beautiful wife.
I think most men have, and that's if you didn't, you're probably not married anymore. But that's kind of par for the course.
I had a good conversation with somebody today talking about that. Is that I grew up with some people, and they had a son, and we insure them. And when we first got him, I didn't know if we was gonna keep him very long because he had a car wreck. It seemed like about every 2 weeks with us. Maybe it's probably further apart now, but it just seemed like a lot. And I thought, this kid ain't ever gonna do nothing, And next thing, he's ended up marrying this lady, and they just bought a $900,000 house, and he's got a great job, and his wife's got a great business. And, it's just, I think sometimes in life, we got to find the right woman that helps support us and move us in the direction we want to do. Because it takes a strong woman to deal with a strong man. And that helps out a whole lot. So if you got a weak man and a weak woman together, man, it's problems,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, like I said, I've met your wife, and she's a very strong woman, and she is the best host I've ever been around. Like they had a get together, and man, she was amazing. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We had so much fun, and she was absolutely awesome.
God has blessed her with the hospitality. She can be the best. She is the best host too. And party planner and everything else. I told her, I said, you need to start a business with party planning. I said, you can make a lot of money. She said, well, it wouldn't be no fun then. I said, well, hey, sometimes you go to the bank's fun, if you can help people get the party they want, So we're an event planner, because people want those memories, and if you have to be perfect, that's a good business to be in,
Yep, absolutely. Like my wife was a little nervous coming because you were our only point of contact, and Gavin, and it was she was a little nervous about coming into somewhere where she didn't know anybody, and I knew you, and so she didn't know any of the females there, and she was really nervous. And man, it wasn't 5 minutes, and your wife had her around, and like she'd known her for 20 years, and my wife felt so comfortable, and she enjoyed that so much, and we really appreciated that, and that was awesome. I mean, my wife was so So she was so impressed. So I really appreciate that. And I know I know you got great kids also. So they what's your son do again?
They're hot messes, let me tell you. Well, he has a business of
mowing grass. He cuts grass and does landscaping for folks, and that's one of his big business. But he's in the process of getting his insurance license right now, so he come to work for me in the agency, and so that's what we're working on right now. And then, of course, he buys and sells and flips trucks and stuff. Matter of fact, he's got a 2000 Yukon he's trying to get sold right now. And I'm sorry about that. I had to get out of the car real quick. I'm about to get in another one. But he's got a Yukon he's trying to flip right now to make some money on. I says, I wish I was 19 years old and know what he knows, because it's one of those deals where he can make money at about whatever he wants to do, and he usually does. So I'm pretty proud of him from that standpoint. He's always thinking, like he told me, he says, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be making $1 million a year, Dad. And I says, all right, the fact that you have an idea that what you want to do is half of getting there, The fact that he said it out loud is going to make him move that way, And he said, next year I want to make 6 figures. And he said, I'm making about, we're talking about a 19-year-old kid. He's between selling cars and drafting or doing the grass. He's making $40,000 or $50,000 a year now, working part time. I said, well, you get in business, I can make about $5,000 a month selling insurance, and you're at $100,000 at age 20. I know some 50-year-olds that don't make $100,000 a year. So. Absolutely,
man, and that's a rare quality in a 19-year-old these days. So
that's right.
That's impressive.
I think that's one of the things we got to figure out. We got to teach our kids how to get back into that that entrepreneurial spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
And, do all that fun stuff.
Yep.
And I think that's what we got to get back into that.
Absolutely.
And
so if somebody did want to do insurance, I see your wife there a little bit, and tell her I said hi.
Yep. Hey, we're in the car. We're headed to Brentwood Academy right now to watch my daughter play volleyball here this evening. So
put her back on there so I can wait.
I know she's a heck of a lot better than me. Say hi.
Oh, absolutely.
Say hi to Todd.
She's a lot prettier than you are.
Yeah. Todd was just talking about how great of a host you are and how welcome you made them feel when they came to the pig roast last year. How awesome you are about that. We do. Yeah, that's what she does. She's awesome at that. So that's it's a good deal, man. Like I was saying earlier, you can't, to be successful in this world, you got to have a great wife beside of you, somebody that can make you better than you really are.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today with Marc Lewis. He had to cut it a little bit short today, so we're going to have him back in a couple of weeks because we had a really good time today. But while you're at it, go down below and like and subscribe. And also, if you have any real estate questions or anything like that, here's my email address and my phone number. I'd appreciate a call. Anything you have a question on, just let me know. And that's going to do it for today.